Alrighty then.
Stuck him in the head with a crankbait's what happened, and now I'm about to rip it out of his head.
There he is. That's on me. I'm so sick. Hi, Pelican Bone Gang, and welcome back to another episode of Pelican Bone Outdoors Podcast. Today's special guest, saying it like a radio host. I always want to start this like a radio host. Anyway, we got Frank Willems from B-Side Outdoors. Say hello, Frank.
Hello, Frank.
Very good, very good. So, have you ever done an underrated, overrated, underrated before?
I have not.
So, I stole this idea from Alex Rudd, who stole it from Gary V, who probably was that an icy?
It was a true icy, not like a knockoff.
Oh, I ain't had an icy in a hot minute. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, overrated, underrated. So basically what happens is I bust out a bunch of topics and we'll say whether they're overrated, underrated, adequately rated. You know, English is tough. And then we say why. But before we start that, we've been doing a segment called Outdoor Outlaws. I love my little soundboard, if you can't tell. But so today's gonna be a little different. We're not gonna be talking about guys who have gotten in trouble, but I pulled up. I have two. Well, they kind of go together, but strange hunting or wild game laws. And I'm, dude, I'm gonna have to do a whole segment, like a whole episode on this, because I was reading through them and some of them are quite funny. So I'm gonna go rattle these off before we get started with the. Before I do that, how are you, Frank? I'm that's very rude of me.
I'm good. I was, if you noticed, because like you were playing the intro, and I'm like, hold on, I gotta plug my phone.
Last minute, Frank over here was struggling to get everything put together, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get the link to him. Emails were not cooperating.
And then of course I had to stop and get my icy on my way home. You know.
So that's why you were late, because you needed an icy. I ain't mad at you.
Well, then I had to let the dog outside, and then the dog saw a rabbit. So, like, she is going crazy over this rabbit. So I took a T-bar steak, one of my T-bar steaks, and just, like, shoved it in the ground and just let her be out there to go crazy about this rabbit.
Oh, I thought you were mispronouncing T-bone steak, and I was completely picturing you grabbing one out your freezer, waving it, and trying to get your dog back. But apparently that's not what happened. Anyway, so Outdoor Outlaws. So I was doing this research real quick, trying to find some, and this comes up. So this is like a two-parter. It's two different states with a similar type of law. In Texas, and speaking of Alex Rudd, I'm gonna have to get him to listen to at least the beginning of this podcast, because shout out to him. You'll see why. In Texas, it's illegal. No, excuse me. It's legal. It is legal to hunt and shoot Bigfoot. Although the state has no official position on Bigfoot, according to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission, Bigfoot would be considered a non-protected, non-game animal, which can be hunted on private property with the landowner's consent at any time without a bag limit. So that's kind of like, yeah, whatever. The next one says, but you cannot kill Bigfoot in Skamani County, Washington, which considers itself a Bigfoot refuge. In fact, a 1969 ordinance states that killing this endangered ape-like creature can get you a year in jail, $1,000 fine, or both. But scientists looking to study and photograph Bigfoot, they're welcome. So there's that.
Have you ever seen the meme that goes around and it's like, I believe in you, but I also believe in Bigfoot. So,
so yeah, if you want to hunt Bigfoot, you can go to Texas, but not Washington.
So, I got a funny story about hunting Bigfoot.
There you go.
My little sister was, I don't know, she was probably 8, 9 years old, maybe 10. I mean, she might have been old as 15. I don't know exactly the age. but she fell backwards over a log trying to call a Bigfoot at Girl Scout camp.
Really?
So my mom gets this call at
Interesting.
like 8 o'clock at night to go drive to Mississippi, wherever they were, to go pick her up because she broke her arm calling Bigfoot.
Broke her arm. What does a Bigfoot sound like, Frank? What call was she making, Frank? Come on, Frank. Give us. All right. Well, let's get down to it. Overrated or underrated, Frank? Speckled trout fishing. Now, before you answer this, remember where we are. And don't tell anyone your address, because if you make the wrong answer, you probably have some Louisiana folk breaking down your door wanting to cut you.
So this is, I think it's like adequate. It depends on where you are fishing them. Like where I'm at now, I could fish either the Barataria Basin or the east side of the river, you know. And like if you're like, all right, we're gonna go catch 25 12-inch trout, I'd be like, I could pass on that, you know. But if you're gonna be like, we're gonna go catch some 19 to 20-inch trout, I'm all for that, you know. I caught my first, I would say, big trout last summer. Actually, it's almost a year ago to the date. It was after our horrible fishing trip with the redfish that day, where we fished all day. The following day, I caught. It was like the ruler we had on the boat went up to 18 inches, so it was like 2 inches past 18.
Nice.
It was 2.3 pounds, you know, so it's a nice sized trout, and that was probably the best trout like fight I've ever had with a trout.
Right.
You know, but like a 12-inch trout surfs is what I
Yeah,
call.
you just drag them right across the water.
Yeah, you drag
right
them to the
across
boat.
top.
There's no drag. There's no anything. And yeah. So
I guess, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I've ever had a good speckled trout trip where I was pulling in 18 to 20-inch fish.
yeah,
You know, like you're talking about. So I guess as far as my experience goes, I'm gonna say it's overrated.
yeah.
Because I will take 5 to 10 redfish, you know, fighting 10 redfish over fighting 30 speckled trout. Not keeping, by the way, because I can only keep 5. I'm just saying, you know, catch and release, catch a 5, whatever. But then again, I haven't, like I said, I hadn't caught any 20. I think my biggest speckled trout was 21 inches, and I was a kid, like a youngster, like a teenager. But I've never had it to where, you hit those schools of 12 to 14 inches, and it's like every cast you're hitting them. I mean, that gets fun just because it's they're mobbed up, and it's like every cast you're reeling in fish. It's exciting. But I don't know. My experience is overrated, but like I said, I guess I can't really say without having a good trip with the big boys.
Yeah, and I guess I'm the same way with you. I've only had that really one good trip, and if I go fishing, especially saltwater marsh, I'd rather a mixed bag any day.
Right.
Like that day we went to Delacroix, where I wasn't catching anything, but you were catching bass, specks, and redfish.
Right.
I think I caught some specks that day that were over 12 inches.
Was that the day we caught whaling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Caught a poodle.
Oh yeah, we caught a poodle too that day. I forgot about that.
That's a heck of a mixed bag right there, cuz.
So.
Now, but I want to try. So I want to go out with Tofi. I want to go out on that plane where they catch the big ones out there on the island, and then maybe we'll have to revisit this topic once I actually know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
Frank and I both know how passionate Louisiana can be about their speckled trout, because he and I have been going to the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries commission meetings. And we have both sworn that anytime that topic comes up again at the commission meetings, we're not going. Because
I told Tony that. I was like, Tony, I don't know what the last 2 things on the agenda was. Because like 3/4 of the way through the speckled trout, I was just like, peace.
Dude, and it was so crazy because they got in there and they talked. And then you had the public comments. They got up and they were sharing. Passionate. Some people were getting like pissed. And then dude, it just kept going and going and going. And then finally, when the speckled trout was over and it came up for the redfish, change, to vote on changing limits and stuff like that. Dude, that place emptied out.
Yeah.
There was like the fly fishing crew and then 2 other guys and then us.
Yeah.
And that was our first trip, so we wasn't about to get up and say anything. We was trying to figure out what the heck was going on still.
But and see, like when it comes to like the commissioners meeting, just touch on that. The way I look at it is my opinion had been stated by several people.
Yeah, same thing over again. Yep.
So it's not like I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again.
Yeah. I concur. Next topic. We'll probably be chasing rabbits throughout this thing because that's what I like to do, chase rabbits. And that's kind of what this I don't know, this overrated, underrated kind of lends itself to, which makes it so much fun. Alligator hunting, underrated or overrated?
So actually doing it, I think it is like very, I wouldn't say overrated or underrated because like if you watch Swamp People, it's nothing like that.
Right.
But like actually doing it is probably one of my favorite games to hunt. Like, and
so
it's really
adequately rated is an option. So
yeah.
if you think it's rated correctly.
Yeah, I mean, big game wise, it's an amazing big game. Like big game wise in the state of Louisiana, it is phenomenal. And then, but yeah, but like Swamp People makes it look like it's so difficult and all.
Reality television. Everybody knows that reality television isn't real. Well, I hope everybody knows that by now. It's exaggerated a tad bit, but that's what makes it entertaining. That's how they make money. But apparently it's because of that show why I can't film my alligator hunts on public land. So fortunately, guys, probably gonna have an opportunity to film an alligator hunt this year. So y'all stay tuned to the YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to that. But anyway, I'm gonna go with slightly underrated. Simply for the fact that now, the hides aren't worth much. So it used to be big money. It used to be very profitable to hunt alligators. Now, not so much. But now I think we need everybody filling their tags because there's freaking alligators everywhere. So I feel like we need hunters jumping on any opportunity of tags to fill those tags and to keep that population down before they explode and start eating more dogs.
Hey, hang on 1 second.
Oh no!
I got somebody knocking on my door, man. Hang on.
Oh, let's see who it is.
Oh,
who is it?
Hey. Do what? You have a dog? Yes.
Frank's got neighbors knocking.
Hold on. Yeah, that's my dog. She got off her leash.
Oh no, Frank's losing his dog.
Okay. Come here, Hart. Come here, Hart.
And that's what you get with live podcasts, folks. This is not pre-recorded. If you're listening to it on podcast phone, we do this. We record this podcast live.
Come here
on YouTube. Usually it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday whenever I get a chance to do it, but my work schedule's a little confusing sometimes. So, but yeah, you'll end up with situations like this where Frank loses his dog and a neighbor comes and says, "Hey, dude, you got a dog running around. Is this yours?"
Yeah. So look, and that's the dog.
Hey, the puppy dog.
I don't know if she.
Oh no, it's not.
Is
that the leash or the collar that broke?
Like I think somebody had given me this leash, right?
It's probably because it was about to break.
No. So, all right. So in the campground, people just like leave all kind of stuff everywhere, right?
That's interesting.
They pack up and leave.
Oh yeah, they just jet.
Deuces. So the trailer park manager was like, "Hey, you want a leash for your dog?" Yeah, sure. Well, obviously it's not a great leash.
That's probably why they left it behind, Frank.
So, but she's in the camper now. I really didn't want to leave her in the camper because sometimes she gets like, "I want to play."
It's fine. We like dogs here.
Yeah.
But since I'm so bad at this, before we continue on, let me give the shout out to the folks in the comment section. That Van, my boy, Steve, that's my dude from church, Road Glider, and David Williams. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. All right, so where were we? What was I talking about?
Yeah, you're
Something?
talking about alligator hunting, how the hide prices and all are down.
Oh yeah. Well, and I really enjoyed because me and Frank did our first alligator hunt last year, so we're not experts by any means, but we got some more tags this year, so he and I and another buddy's going to be going out doing that, and it's a blast because what's crazy is you see the line tight. Same reason I like jug lines and like crab traps because it's under the water, you see the line, you're not sure what you're pulling up. Pretty sure it's an alligator on the other end, but you don't know how big it is, you don't know how small it is. Like when we pulled up the big 9-footer last year, and it almost took the boat for a ride wherever it wanted to go. And then I lost Frank's magazine in the water, but that's another story for another time.
By the way, I did my podcast with Tony about alligator hunting on public land in Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so okay, I'm going to give a little bit of background on why this podcast came to light. So when me and Vinnie went to do this, there was hardly any information,
right,
on the proper way to do it. Right. So me and Vinnie wigged it like
I do most of my life.
Yeah. But I wanted something more of a. I wanted more of like something to help people up, like help them out, get them on the right direction. And Tony Howard, who is the president of the Trapper and Alligator Hunters Association, and the Wild Alligator, I don't know, on the Alligator Advisory Commission, the Wild Alligator Hunter on that advisory committee. He was like, I was like, Tony, would you want to do it to help out? He's like, absolutely. So I put that podcast out there to help. And then, I think it got good feedback. I just started my podcast back up like stringently, and he's in the
shameless
top.
Plug.
Yeah. Shameless plug,
Now,
I did
Frank
not say what the name of the podcast
No, man, shout it out, bro. We all in this together. Tell them where they can find you.
It's B-Side Outdoors at all social media. We have a link tree /B-Side Outdoors, and we are the B-Side Outdoor podcast on pretty much anywhere, any of your major places you can stream your podcast from.
Yeah, Frank's gonna have some pretty good ones coming up, especially with Tony, and now that trapping season's coming up because Frank has fallen in love with trapping, and I can't blame him. No, I'm hoping to get another coyote back here this season.
I'll let you borrow some traps. I got some good ones now.
Oh, some of them
KO.
What they call them again? Yeah,
KO.
Those are pretty bad.
Yeah, I got some juniors and seniors. Just depends on which one you want.
Well, first I got to see if them coyotes are coming, but I might have a property that we might be able to trap, but I gotta see. So next topic, if I can find what I did with it. There we go. All right. The Burger King Whopper.
I can't tell you the last time I ate a Whopper, so I'm gonna go overrated.
Puppet dog. So overrated, huh? Why is it overrated?
I can't tell you the last time I ate one.
So it wasn't that memorable for you if you can't think about it, I guess. Well, I'm gonna definitely go with underrated, dude. I love a good Burger King Whopper, especially since they came out with the Texas Double Whopper. Now, since you haven't been in a while and had a Whopper, go get the Texas Double Whopper. It's a double Whopper with cheese, bacon, and jalapenos.
Bro. Well, if you put bacon and jalapenos on anything,
bro. Yeah, but Burger King to me is underrated to begin with because I think the Whopper's delicious. That little frame burled. Ooh, Justin says overrated. No way, dude. No way. Underrated. Nah, man, I love me a good Whopper, but I know that's not the most popular vote because you always see, like in Westwego, you can see a line at McDonald's, and across the street at the Burger King there's like one person in the
Well,
drive up, and
that's
it
the
takes
reason that
30
works
minutes to
at
get
the
through.
Burger King.
Do
It's
what?
not because that, like whenever we go eat at work, we eat at Burger King because they're quick and they're faster than going to McDonald's or Sonic.
Wait, so you go to Burger King, you don't get the Whopper?
I don't go,
Oh, okay.
but like the guys at work,
Fun fact from watching the Food That Built America or whatever that show is, the Whopper is the first sandwich that had a name. The first hamburger that actually had a name, like the Whopper, instead of just cheeseburger.
yeah,
Or hamburger.
the dude, that show, like I love. What's up, Justin? I just
Wendy's.
saw
Wendy's. Oh, the Dave Double.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
So the Food That Built America, the Men That Built America, pretty much anything that built America, if you see it on, sit down and watch it because it's not just going to be that one episode. It's going to be
No, you're gonna binge it. Yeah. And it's good though, man. Like I watched the like because the Burger King one, it showed McDonald's and Burger King, and then they had one where it started with the Taco Bell and like Arby's because they like add. It's not just one food place. It's like a couple of them, and shows how they like came up at the same time. It's really interesting.
So they had one. It was on Coke and Pepsi, like soft drinks, right?
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh yeah, Pepsi's always talking about how they're a higher profiting company than Coca-Cola, and they're like, but if you look at what Pepsi owes, like they owed Taco Bell.
So it was cheaper for them to buy. I forget how it goes, but yeah, they bought Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut because everyone else had Coke. They always had Coke. Pepsi was always, is Pepsi okay? When the people ask for a Coke. Yeah. So I don't remember exactly what, but somehow it was cheaper or whatever for them to buy those food chains and then to sell their product in it than trying to get other places to sell their Pepsi product. And I'm not going to disagree. Coke is definitely better than Pepsi. All of their brands.
Dr. Pepper, way to go, man.
I'm not a Dr. Pepper fan. I'm a Barks root beer guy, but that was I think, is it bottled by Coke now?
Or is it depends on the area.
Because it wasn't Barks a Louisiana thing.
Actually, so I saw something on Barks, and Justin, nobody likes Pepsi. If you say you like Pepsi, you've never tried Coke. That's all I'm saying.
he's just being contradictory.
So I saw the history of Barks not too long ago, and I don't know how official it was, but it actually started in Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that might be accurate.
Like Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yeah, I knew it was around here.
New Orleans neighbor, you could say.
Well, yeah, I mean they serve for the Saints, so it's all the same thing. Jeremy says you can get an ice cream after 9 at Burger King. Does McDonald's do their machines even work anymore?
Bro. So
there's like a conspiracy about that.
McDonald's. If you don't use the McDonald's app, and I'm not sponsored by it, but if you go to McDonald's and don't use their app, that's like that ought to be a sin, right?
I don't use their app. I don't have an app.
It's worth it.
Chick-fil-A asks me that every time I go over there too.
Oh, I have the Chick-fil-A app. I have Dunkin', like all the apps I have. I'm a point feed, right? But if you I use the app, and I always if I want ice cream, I order it on there. And the first thing they say, like, can we give you a couple apple pies instead? Like, if you wanted fresh water to drink, would salt water be okay?
Yeah, no. Right. If I wanted apple pies, I'd have ordered apple pies.
But yeah.
All right.
So
this next one
version to ice cream to apple pies at McDonald's. No. I just don't know what it is.
No, give me ice cream and an apple pie. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
All right. This next one is it's gonna be kind of confusing for those who don't know. But Victoria's Secret's Amber Romance. Overrated, underrated?
As a scent, it's overrated.
Okay.
As other uses, it's okay. I don't know how this works with underrated, overrated thing again. So I'm just gonna explain my position. As a scent, I don't think it smells terrible. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like my favorite scent they put out. I do have a
What-
girlfriend, so
I'm about to say, Frank, what do you, Frank, are you telling us something live that we don't know yet, Frank? I mean, the weekend's coming up. If we do this podcast on a weekend, are you gonna be wearing lipstick and high heels, or
like off of Billy Madison, where he puts the lipstick on and lays back in the couch.
Blake Hunter in the house, dude? What is up, brother? Dude, I ain't talked to that dude in forever. But anyway, yeah, back to Amber Romance.
So that is the greatest thing since sliced bread to keep gnats and mosquitoes off of you.
So,
And
all right, go ahead. No. I'll let you finish.
I think it's gnats and mosquitoes. I don't know. You spray it on in the marsh and you don't get bit by things that bite you. That's all I know.
I'm gonna say I'm definitely gonna say it's underrated, but not. I don't find that it keeps the mosquitoes off as much.
Maybe it's the gnats. I don't mind mosquitoes though, because I got so much hair.
It's hard to get. Yeah, the gnats get up under the hair. They don't care about the hair.
Yeah, they go straight through.
No. Yeah, but so the gnats. I don't think the whole country has biting gnats. I don't know if that's a salt marsh thing, because I've heard people say y'all have those biting gnats there. I'm like, they don't all bite. So apparently there's gnats that don't bite. I don't know.
I've never had a gnat that didn't. Well, maybe I just didn't notice a gnat.
You didn't notice because they weren't biting.
I'm like, what are these little bugs flying around me?
But man, I heard about Amber Romance. Funny story. On a bunch of different things, bunch of YouTube guys, and Don Dubuque, our local I guess fishing game report guy, and heard about it a lot. So one day, me and the wife's in the mall, and I'm like, man, I want to get some Amber Romance. We can stop by Victoria's Secret. She looked at me side eye like she was gonna slap the crap out of me. Like, what you need Amber Romance for? And I tried to explain to her, it keeps the bugs off. And she was like, I don't think she was buying what I was selling. So we go in there to get it, and we walk up, and she asked the lady, "Do y'all have some Amber Romance?" And the girl turned around and said, "Oh, you need something to keep the bugs off?" I was like, "I told you." So apparently, a lot of people go in there. She said a lot of men do go in there to buy just Amber Romance. But
I looked into it, and I forgot. I think it's vanilla and lavender is what's in it.
Oh yeah, I know lavender they don't like.
It's vanilla either. So like they don't like the scent of it, so they're just like, I ain't gonna mess with it. But look,
right.
If you give me the option between that and Skin So Soft, it is that all day long.
Because if I can put that on rather than just any bug spray, I hate putting bug spray on, but I mean, it's better than the alternative.
What's terrible about me is I'm allergic to DEET. So any of the bug spray that works,
you're in the wrong state for that.
It's like not even worth me putting it on because I'm on fire anyway,
Yeah. You're definitely because we got mosquitoes the size of pterodactyls around here,
bro.
And I wish
times worse.
Do what?
Like I thought we had bad mosquitoes, and then I went to Alaska.
Really, Alaska?
In the summertime they have such long days. All of their bugs are horrible in the summertime. Now in the wintertime you don't have any bugs at all. Like,
huh? Well, yeah. Probably have less people too. That's too daggone cool. But yep, Amber Romance now, like I said, in the scent, of course, is a lot better than bug spray. Don't feel you leaving all nasty, but it also doesn't last as long, I don't think, as bug spray. You got to kind of keep reapplying it when you're in the marsh.
I'm cool with smelling like a French whore when I come back from fishing,
Yeah, and you do. All right, next topic. It's similar. Like it's just gonna piggyback right off of that because it still has to do with bugs. But thermocells. You ever use a thermocell?
The best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, I do appreciate a thermocell.
That little one that you buy, that everybody carries on their backpack. Don't get that one. Go buy you a Radius. It's like so it's a battery powered one that the cartridges last like I think they make a 72-hour cartridge.
Yeah, my buddy Spencer got one.
Yeah, and I did it in your boat. I set it in the middle of the boat, turned it on, and it's for like 100 square feet. And I don't know if you're supposed to breathe the stuff in or not, but I want to say Buckmasters had that. Like they were talking about bow hunting, and that was one thing they had put on there. It was like a thermocell, but not the cheap one.
Dude, so. The only thing about them is if the wind's blowing, it's useless. Like if there's a breeze blowing, you'd have to, I guess, if you put it downwind of you.
Well, the
But
neutral
like,
rodeo. Remember
yeah,
the rodeo? So like we're putting along, and I got my thermocell lit in the
yeah.
front of the boat, and like me and you were like slapping mosquitoes and everything else, and Josh is just back there like, oh, what mosquitoes? I don't feel them. Well, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely directional with the wind. Now it is fantastic in a duck blind,
Yes.
because it'll just fill up that duck blind. I've been in the duck blind several times where you got it rolling, and you'll see mosquitoes right above the blind, but they won't pass that threshold where the
Yeah,
where they
your
breathe
beaver
that
tail is
thermocell.
perfect for that.
Do
Like
what? Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
beaver
yeah,
tail. I
yeah,
remember that. Like you stick your head out to see something, and like
yep,
there's like a globe of mosquitoes over you.
yep. They won't come in though with that thermocell. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that that's pretty underrated too. I love those things. Um, duck season's coming up.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of duck season, that brings me into another topic: teal season.
Overrated unless you get a river. So listen, I didn't start duck hunting much until about 2 years ago. Actually, last year was probably the most I've ever duck hunted, and that was with you and I made a couple of trips with you, and we shot more nutria than ducks.
Yeah.
And then I went with Chris, and like we put the hammer down. It was a gallon.
So that yeah. So that's the thing. I'm gonna go with adequately rated, and here's why. Where I hunt, it's very rare that I even see a teal during teal season, much less get to shoot at one, much less hit the one I'm shooting at. But my favorite thing about it is, for one, it's just that appetizer that hunting season's here.
Yeah.
Right. You got you're going out there, you're getting everything ready, and it's like preseason. So I'm
Yeah.
probably not gonna shoot any teal, but that's where I'm working out all the kinks. I'm getting all my stuff together, throwing it in the boat, and you get out there and you're like, crap, I forgot this, and now you remember, you write it down. We're not really. You're probably still gonna forget it the first time anyway, but now you got an idea what you need to do. You realize that that's the first time you opened up the blind since last year, and they got a hole in it, or they got, like, last year was all those mud dauber nests. Yeah, like, I mean, 15 pounds worth of mud from mud daubers building nests in it. Blind snacks. You realize, man, I need more snacks, less snacks, more
But
coffee.
listen, all I'm saying is Little Debbie's needs to come out with their little cakes. You know, they got the Christmas trees around Christmas time. They just need to come out with like a duck or a deer
Duck
head.
cakes.
Duck cakes, or deer cakes.
Well, they need to do both, because, I mean, I think that would be a good seller during this time of year.
Yeah, and
Absolutely. I'd buy it.
Like and what I like, look, duck hunting. Don't think I'm knocking on duck hunting. I don't have anywhere that has teal. That's the first thing I'm going to preface that by. Kennel.
He's talking to dog, not me, y'all.
So, so we don't have teal where we go. What I like about it though is like you can get out there, you can bust gallinoo,
Yeah. The spot we go now, what's crazy is it holds teal. The spot, that piece of public land that I go to, it does hold teal, and I've seen it to where some seasons that's the only thing it held, and it held it all through the season, and like a month after the season, they were still hanging around. But that's the thing, like sometimes they'll fly in about 6 of them, and that's all you see that day. And I'm not gonna, I can't hit anything really, but I'm that they're moving. But they got Buku Gallinoo up in there, which is open during teal season, and you get 15 of them. So get you some practice in, and whether you shoot those or not, we go and we can scout for nutria, go shoot some nutria, and then scout for hanging our alligator lines, because it's the same public land that we hunt, that we try and attempt to duck hunt. We should probably call it more Gallinoo and coot hunting than anything else. But so when teal season opens, they shut the alligator down in that WMA. So I think it's all WMAs they do that with. for the lottery tags. So yeah, so we go out there for teal season, rub some rust off, knock the rust off, rub some dirt off, something like that, and then we go scouting for them alligators. And I prefer to get the alligators from around where we're duck hunting, because I'd like to bring my dog out there one day and it not become dinner for a lizard.
So the biologist told me last year, because you were allegedly working when he came, but he told me
I was.
So he told me, I made a comment about, like, I know guys that have $2,000 labs, and they have such a problem that with alligators that they don't take, like, he takes his out during teal season and everything, but he's like, man, sometimes, like, I almost have to shoot an alligator so it doesn't eat my dog. And I was telling that to the biologist, and he was like, I'm letting you know right now, alligators will self-regulate themselves. When they get to carrying capacity, they will stay at a certain line, and that's because they'll start eating each other.
Yeah, well, they need to eat more of each other.
And
things are freaking everywhere.
And I can remember as a kid, if you went riding a boat and saw an alligator, it was amazing.
It was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like alligator, 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 big alligator, alligator.
Yeah, dude, like I went filmed that video the other day. I was going to a bunch of different little canals, like drainage ditches, drainage canals and stuff like that, trying to catch one of them garfish. And I brought my dog to a couple of them, and dude, you wouldn't see. So I went to this one drainage canal 3 days, almost 3 days in a row. 2 of the days, never seen a single alligator, not a one. The one day I brought Waylon, there were 3 of them, and one kept coming towards us. Every time he'd see Waylon move, he would start heading towards us. I went to 2 or 3 other different canals, and every time, even alligators that weren't even half the size of him was going up to investigate because they wanted to eat him. I couldn't go anywhere without seeing him.
Yeah, and but that's something too, like in a urban environment. I know they ought to almost, I don't know how you would open a season on them in an urban environment, if that makes sense.
No, I don't think they would. They'd have to get like contractors, probably like a trapper to come get them.
But I mean, like, let people shoot them with bows in an urban canal. I mean, how much damage can you do with a bow? I mean, right. I guess you could, but.
Oh, yeah. Leroy messing up the program all the time, man. Yeah. Oh, Leroy the alligator. But yeah, I mean, I respect alligators. I do like alligators. They're amazing creatures, been around for forever. But they get to be a pain in my butt sometimes. So if I can take a few out legally and put them in my freezer, a couple in the frying pan, and then of course, since I tan the hide, I got that big alligator over there. Well, I can't show you with the camera, but got that alligator hide. Frank still got an alligator hide under my house. So if you know where I live, y'all can come steal that because Frank's never going to use it. And what I got that skull right there. That was from the big 9-footer. And then we got 2 skulls in the freezer still that needs to be cleaned up and whatnot. And gonna do it all over again this year. So yeah, I mean, alligator hunting is what did I say? Adequately rated, underrated? One of those.
I don't know. We weren't even on alligator hunting. We got back on that from Teal.
Oh, that's right, huh? Hey, alligator hunting was the second one. We done made full circle, and I done lost my mind. Yeah, I don't even remember. Oh yeah, teal season was adequately rated. That's right. Yeah. And then alligator hunting was, I don't even remember, but
you said like underrated for alligator.
It was what?
Underrated.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I said. I believe that. All right, man. I only got 2 topics left. Probably should have came up with a couple more. All right, Mardi Gras. Overrated, underrated.
I'm gonna say this as a preface it, and your comments are about to go.
Nobody watches it.
The city of New Orleans is so overrated.
See, I was gonna put New Orleans as the topic, but I didn't want to go that far down chasing that rabbit. But
so
Mardi Gras
itself is overrated. Now, the flip side of that, like local parades, like the one that goes in Lafitte,
Mhm.
the one in Logan, the one in the Zalmans, the one in Reserve. I love them. Them are like that's my creme de la creme, and that's just because I know a ton of people there, and I go there more to socialize than to see the pretty lights and dancers and all of that. But the one in Lafitte, half of them don't have their teeth, the dancers, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So you going with
Overrated. 100%.
overrated? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with overrated also, like a few people in the comments just said. But so I got to think about this because it's definitely overrated for me because I grew up with Mardi Gras, been to countless parades. Now I just don't even want to be in Louisiana when they have it, just because I'm over it. But looking at it from, and again, it also depends on what parade you go to, because some are family friendly, some are not family friendly. Some you will more likely get shot than catch a bead. But then that's also just talking about this area too. I mean,
Yeah.
Mardi Gras does kind of extend into other states, even though real Mardi Gras is here. But
I've been to a Mobile Mardi Gras, and it is not the same atmosphere.
yeah, no, I didn't think it would be.
So, like, you know how ours, like, you could run up to the float and get run over if you want to.
Right.
Over there, they have the whole street barricaded off.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't even get close to it.
Yeah, I'd say like if you're from out of town and never seen Mardi Gras, I think it's worth taking a look. But well, at least it was before New Orleans went to complete crap.
Yeah.
But there's Metairie. I mean, you can go to Metairie parades.
Yeah. And then Metairie has that family Gras area that
yes,
has a heavy police presence.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
you
definitely
can
more family
smoke.
friendly.
You can't smoke. I don't think within like so many.
I'm not going to Brazil, Justin.
I mean,
I
I
don't know, I
would.
might go
Don't
to
get me wrong.
Brazil.
You don't fly though, Vinny. So that's like.
Hey,
the
I'm gonna get over that. So eventually I'm going because I want to go down there and catch some of them crazy fish they got down there. I want to catch a
Let's go. Let's do it.
17-pound peacock bass.
Jeremy, I saw your comment about that 14.9. I
That was
believe that was
Mississippi.
Mississippi, huh?
Yeah, yep,
That
it
was
was in
their state
Mississippi.
record.
Yeah, it was the biggest one they caught in Mississippi. I don't know. I wonder what the biggest. Maybe I can Google that real quick. What's the biggest alligator?
I don't know if I can get off it. Oh, I don't know if I can get off of this website.
No, don't try. Let me take care of that, Frank. See if I can do that so we don't lose you. I usually have enough technical difficulties with this.
I hope nobody hears what my phone says to me whenever I plug it in.
No, we can't hear on this end.
Okay.
Largest alligator ever. It says, ever caught. Let's do that. 900. That's probably going to be the Mississippi one. What was the largest alligator ever recorded? 15-foot, 1,011.5 pounds. Caught in Alabama in 2014. That's
They've
a
been
big
beating
dude.
that joker some chicken for a while.
Dude, that is a big dude. I wonder how big the head is, because me and Frank found out that 1 foot in length can make a huge difference in girth. We caught a 8-footer, right?
Right under 8.
So right under 8 to right over 9.
We caught a 7.6 or 7.8.
Okay, yes.
An 8.2 and
no, a 9.2.
9.2.
Yeah,
and then so it must have been right at 8 then. And
yeah,
like when you
just
look
under
at
8.
When you look at like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, like,
yeah, the skull could fit easily inside the other skull and have like 2 inches all the way around it.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the width and the thickness of that gator was so much different with just that 1 foot, a couple inches difference. Nuts.
Speaking of alligators, did you hear about in New Orleans that kid got his hand bitten off by one like a couple days ago?
Was he trying to feed it? Please tell me.
No, he was so.
Oh.
They think the gator was fed because he was just walking down the little beach area, and the alligator like jumped up, and it was a small alligator, jumped up and bit his hand off.
Yep, probably being fed. There's a spot in St. Bernard we went fishing the other day, and it's a spillway, and we're fishing in the boat in the spillway, and there's this whole family up there calling the alligators, throwing marshmallows to them.
You should have like bounced the 1 ounce weight off their forehead, but that's not.
No, man, it was kids. It wasn't their fault. The parents are just ignorant, you know.
Bounce off their parents' head, not the kid.
Yeah, well, yeah, could have, but yeah, man, it's just frustrating. And I mean, that's ignorance. Those people probably don't even know, don't have a clue. They just want to take their kids. But man, it's just I don't want to get off on that tangent anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mardi Gras, it's kind of dumb. I mean, floats are nice. The
Justin
amount
just
of
brought up the alligator at the Plaquemines Parish Dollar General. You saw that?
I seen the picture of that. Yeah, that's probably somebody's yard dog just walking it to the store.
Yeah, like
Tied
they
it up
tied it up
outside
to
so they can go in for
outside.
some natty light or something. Some dude came up and threw marshmallows at a gator in front of me while fishing. Oh yeah. Yep, very annoying. And then they start coming up to your boat because they think you're gonna have food, and it causes a ruckus. Gonna get somebody killed.
So the Davis diversion, they had a video going around, and people were feeding them alligators. Everybody's like, look how these alligators stacked because they're always feeding them here. And I'm like, bro, first of all, that whoever posted that video is trespassing on federal property. Like, to get there, you have to trespass across train tracks, and it's a federal site. Like, so that's neither here nor there. But the alligators are not there because you feed them 10 marshmallows. They're there because all of the fish coming through that diversion.
Oh yeah, they're gonna stack up where the food is for sure.
Are so disoriented that the alligators are just like mine.
Oh yeah, they're not stupid. I mean, they don't live billions of years, as a species being a couillon. All right, I got one last one, and then we'll have to maybe I'll let you come up with one, which kind of scares me. But 3.5-inch shotgun shells.
Overrated, unless you're goose hunting.
Go on, tell me more.
So listen, I have 2 shotguns that are what they call super mags, right? I think is what they call them.
I have no idea.
So a Magnum's a 3-inch shot.
Oh yeah.
And that they thought that was going to be the last thing, and then they came up with the Super Magnum, which is the 3.5s. Or at least that's what my Remington says on it. It says it's a Super Mag. So I have an 870 that shoots them, and I have a Franke Infinity 3.5 Bottomlands camo, not the same as yours, Vinny.
Oh, that's right. You just got that, didn't you?
Yeah. I've never shot it yet. Like, I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet.
It's a sweet gun.
Yeah. Well, I've shot them before.
They should sponsor me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let them know.
And I was joking with but anyway, so I could shoot 3.5s. I bought a 3.5 because I would rather have that wider variety. But if I'm going to shoot Gallinoo on a WMA, I'm going to see if I can find a 2 3/4 inch.
Yeah, right.
Like, they're cheaper, and my shoulder don't feel like it's about to fall off. But I've been hunting with a pump shotgun for so long, like maybe 3.5s in a Franke isn't bad. I've never shot 3.5s out of a inertia operated shotgun yet.
It's still tickles. It still tickles. I guarantee it.
So I shot. So it's a 3.5 inch, and we talk about this, and duck shot is not the same as buckshot, and not the same as a turkey load. So I had a 3.5 inch. I hunt with 3.5 inch turkey loads in my 870, and that's because sometimes you need to reach out and touch them.
Get a little distance on them.
Do what?
Get a little distance on them.
So I patterned my shotgun out to like 60 yards, and it was still like I used that. Is it TSS where it's got like it has like number 8 shot, number 9 shot.
I don't know. I thought that was a different metal, but it might not be.
Well, it's a not shot. Well, it's like
Anyway.
Yeah. So it's a.
Before we show our complete ignorance about things.
Yeah. So it basically has different size shot for the distance.
Right.
So that you can pattern well at a close distance.
Gotcha.
And at a further distance. Because at 20 yards, I can hit them with a double-aught buck and kill it. But I might need 10 at 50 yards of whatever the shot is going that far. So I patterned my shotgun out to that. And that took like 3 boxes of shells.
Jeez.
And it took me 2 days to do that. And like on the second day, the first shot wasn't even on target because like I was already so sore from it that I was just like, I got
dude.
gripped.
So I'm gonna go with overrated, and a similar thing. I bought my Frankie and I bought the 3.5-inch chamber because I wanted that capability. And since I bought it, I was like, well, since it can take 3.5s, I'm gonna get a bunch of 3.5s because I can shoot them, and I'm gonna try that out first. So that was when I went to Kansas. I bought a case of, because we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were going to shoot geese. I ain't never shot geese before, so I got a case of triple B 3.5-inch shotgun shells, high brass, right? And then I got another case of, I think, number 3s or number 4s for duck hunting, 3.5s. Dude, we went to Kansas, and oh geez, you can go back and watch the videos on the channel. I'm talking thousands of birds just circling your head. It was ridiculous, and a lot of shooting going on. And dude, I didn't even realize how sore my shoulder was until the next day's hunt, when you pull the trigger and that donkey kicks you in your shoulder and you're feeling it. And that's with a few layers of clothes on, because it was pretty chilly. I can't imagine. Well, I can't imagine because we shot neutral with those same rounds. You and me
trying to get rid of them, and you're like, you can shoot 3.5 here. Take some.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to, because I'm going back to 3-inch shells.
Yeah.
But that's another video if y'all haven't seen it. Me and Frank going neutral hunting, and we came right up on one. So we both standing up, kind of on the edge, and I take a shot, and I wasn't balanced very well, and that gun like to throw me off the back of the boat.
That was that one that they had the airboat tour or whatever.
Yeah.
Not far from us.
Probably
And,
thought
like,
the war was going on.
I caught it out the corner of my eye, just swung and shot, and like, I think I scared you. I know I scared the people on that airboat tour.
Yeah, we backed up to get the
neutral.
You killed one, wounded the other one, and I backed in. Oh no, yeah, and then I went clean up that other one, but that's when I almost lost it, fell in the water behind me.
And I think I got that one that you cleaned up on, because like I had one from that hunt that like the shoulder was just gone. Like,
yeah, it was a little close, but that's all the topics I have. Frank, you got any? You want to throw one in there?
All right. For a hunting dog, a standard poodle, over or underrated?
Oh well, you know what I'm gonna pick. That's definitely an underrated for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove all the way to the other side of San Antonio to get my boy.
Yeah.
And still working on him. So what had happened was, got him swimming. I got him retrieving. His drive is way up, and he's doing awesome. Problem is, on January 1st, at whatever time, New Year's, before midnight, I take my dog out to go use the bathroom, and as soon as he walked outside, my neighbors in the back shot off a mortar shell, and I mean, as soon as we walked outside, so that loud noise, big flashings, big old boom, scared the living bejesus out of him, poor guy. And he ran inside shivering. So now all of a sudden he's gun shy. So we've been working on that, though. I bought that launcher from Academy. Oh yeah, Frank knows, because Frank launched it in the marsh the other day.
30 yards in the weeds.
So anyway, I've been taking my pellet gun, and I would throw my bumper and just shoot my pellet gun with no pellets in it, just the noise, so he can see the gun, hear a little noise, and get his drive up for the bumper. And he got over that pretty quick. And then I got this launcher that shoots the 22-inch blanks, which will shoot the dummy like 150 feet. And so I've been doing that, getting somebody to launch it for me. And so when he sees that dummy, he ain't even worried about the noise, which is great. It's a good sign. We're working on it. We're getting through it. Frank comes over the other day, and I'm like, man, this is perfect. I can get you to shoot it. I can work the dog a little bit. I was like, all right, when you hold it, you got to hold it. It's weird. You got to hold it with your fist backwards for some reason, and then you launch it, and it's a little kick to it, and it's really loud. Got to wear earmuffs. And I think the first shot you did, it did all right. It hit in the open field and kind of just rolled to the edge. So he went looking, took him a second to look for it. He's good at that. He'll smell it, and he'll keep hunting until he finds it. So he brings it back, And then Frank, get Frank to do it again, load it up. I was like, Frank, try and straighten it up a little bit, go to the right so it lands and stays in the open field. Frank's like, all right, I got it. Frank launches that thing. It didn't come nowhere near the open field. He went clean into all the marsh to the left of my property.
He found it though.
And he did find it, but it took a little while. We walked up in there and he knew around where it was. But funny story is after you left, later on, Chase, my neighbor, he came over and so we could try it with his dog. He launched it a couple times for his, and then we locked his dog up, and I was gonna do it again for Waylon. And I was like, all right, Chase, just hold it. You're gonna hold it like this, you're gonna turn it and make sure you hit it straight. All right, boom. Dude, he launched it even worse into the marsh than you did. We had to go. They got all of them hairy pod cow peas that are growing, all like the vines are just so thick up in there. It kind of landed on that. So we were all up in there, me, him, and the dog trying to find this daggone thing. And Waylon knew about where it was. He stayed in that area and kept fighting, but he just couldn't find it because it was actually above his head. And Chase climbed in a rabbit hole, up going get it. But I don't know where I was going with that or why I even brought that up. But oh yeah, poodles. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, I think definitely underrated. Smartest dog you can imagine. It's what they originally bred for. The only thing I prefer out of a lab is their coat. I love the fact that a poodle doesn't shed, but I think a lab's coat being they have kind of like that that undercoat and an outer coat, and their coat's like a oily coat. So the water kind of just runs right off of them. It takes them no time at all to dry. Waylon, on the other hand, when we took him out in the blind last year, it was me, Spencer, and Josh, and he actually retrieved his first duck last season. But when he came back in, he was basically just a wet mop.
Yeah.
He just soaks it up. So I'm going to try and keep his hair a little shorter this time. I'm going to try it. And I got a neoprene vest to keep him warm when it's cold. We'll see. But so what do you think? Overrated or underrated? Huh? No. Well, I am going to do the traditional poodle cut one day, especially for a video. Get them all nice and pretty.
I think they are underrated. I mean, even as dogs.
Yeah.
Everybody calls them frou-frou dogs. But, like, her... I guarantee you, why she broke her leash tonight was she was going after a rabbit.
Yeah.
And, like, probably the rabbit ran into briars and she was like, I don't know what that is, so I'm not going in there. Or the rabbit could have ran across the property and then she saw people and just got distracted, you know?
Dude, Waylon's drive has got... When he was a pup... So when he was a puppy, when I first got him, his drive was up. Then it came to a point, like, when he started teething and his drive, like, kind of disappears. Kind of worried. But we look at the pup, little shaggy dog. No, but his we built his drive back up and he started I got real high. Now it's to the point where I have a chicken yard. Let the chickens out, and he'll go up to the chicken yard and he'll circle those chickens and try and chase them through the fence. And he'll sit there, he'll do it until he passes out if I won't stop him. And we also had a bunch of rabbits in the yard. When I let him out, he'll take off. I mean, jet towards the back, try and get him a rabbit before they run away. But I mean, just as an all-around dog, I think standard poodle is the way to go.
Yeah. And that's like, so when I got my first poodle, because this is my second one within like 3 years, which we're not gonna go why I got rid of the first one, but I did not want to get rid of the first one. But so I was like, my ex-wife was like, we can get a dog, but it can't shed. Well, at the time, only dogs I knew that didn't shed were like them frou-frou dogs, you know, like
like a poodle.
I can't even think the names of them. A Maltese and stuff like that. Well, then you got Waylon and you're like, yeah, he don't shed. And he was such a black fuzzball. My wife and my daughter like instantly fell in love with how cute he was.
Oh yeah, y'all seen Waylon and it felt like the next month y'all had a dog.
We did.
Yeah, that's all.
when he is like 3 months, 2 months younger than Waylon. And then so I found a place. It was a puppy mill. I got this one from. Well, actually, both of them I think were kind of puppy mills, but the other place when he came from a breeder that did show dogs and service dogs. This one came from a puppy mill in Cambridge, in Laplace. So, like, she's used to gunshots, you know. When we were picking her up, I think I heard gunshots. But Yeah, she's smart. I mean, she's at that stage right now that she's a teenager. You know, she wants to test me. She wants to see what she can get with. Um, she wants to play all the time. Like,
Jeremy,
direct you to get stuff, huh? We play fetch all the time.
Jeremy said you want to talk about shed and get a German Shepherd. Dude, I love German Shepherds. My uncle had a couple of them. But yeah, dude, they shed outrageously. I used to have a Lab Rottweiler mix that, oh man, it was shed city. We can clean the whole house, scrub it from top to bottom, vacuum everything, and 30 minutes later, he had tumbleweeds rolling around the house.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, man. No, yeah, poodles are great. But that is the hour. We're coming up on an hour. I have to get up relatively early tomorrow because I'm going film with Jared again. Going to catch some shrimps.
Nice. Thanks for the invite.
You working tomorrow, aren't you?
Nights.
Nights, as if.
No, I got to bring the dog to the groomer in the morning.
I know you always have a reason you can't hang out at school.
I didn't get invited to go catch shrimp with y'all.
That's because I knew you had something to do. See, helping you out. I didn't want you to have to say no. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Respect Frank's time, and I'm ready to go to bed. Anyway, tired. Did a lot of things today. But yeah, y'all check out Frank on B-Side Outdoors. Check out his podcast, his Instagram, his other stuff.
Yeah, and, pretty much all social media, including YouTube, we have, and a podcast.
Yeah, man, check out all those things. But that's gonna be it, brother. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll do it again.
Anytime.
And yeah, y'all make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm sure most of y'all came here from that, and now I'm pretty much just rambling on. So I'm gonna take it out of here. Yeah, bye.